Hey friends. Okay, I have wanted to talk to you about this for a little while. I'm excited to jump on. This is probably going to be a shorter episode this week. I just want to drop this little idea with you, especially those of you who've been here longer, but if you've been here for less time, then I'm going to give you a little bit of a background. I want to start with just talking about a problem that I'm seeing that comes from how incredibly amazing coaching can be. And it's so amazing that we get ourselves into a certain problem sometimes and what I think that you can do about it. Okay. So this is the me first coaching trap. Like when we use coaching to get to a me first place and when we need to do that and when we need to move beyond that. So the problem that I'm seeing is that coaching is amazing. It's not a great problem, right? The problem with coaching being so amazing and life-changing is that when you really dove in, and those of you who've been listening to this podcast for a long time and you haven't ever come to a coaching call with me, I want to tell you, like, you're really, really missing out, right? Like you're getting kind of like the cloud around the whole thing and not the actual thing. So the way to come to a coaching call with me is to just get into the program. And I have a call every single week. You could just raise your hand and get coached or watch other people get coached. But why? Why is it so amazing? When you get coached, you will completely rethink your life and your struggles in a new light. All the things that you're trying to use self-control or good mitos or whatever to like overcome or become more positive about, they just get cleared up. The issues just get cleared up. And especially for people who are new to it, it's just this crazy thrill. It's like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? And one of the things I love seeing inside the program for the women who've been there longer is that as soon as something starts to even like smell like it might turn into a problem, we're just like, nope, we're just going to coach on that. So like never even happens. And it's such a thrill that what happens is we just want to go searching for more and more things to clear up. Makes sense, right? Like if you think, something's going on with your husband and it makes you feel really frustrated and you're able to clear that up, you're like, wait, what about my mom? What about my boss? Where else could I use this? What about myself? Where else can I use these skills to clear up this stuff I've been carrying around with me, that I've been putting all this energy into that I don't need to anymore? And we just start to feel better and better. Coaching does make you feel better, right? Because when you drop all of that, we feel so much lighter. We have so much less to fight against, to push against, to resist. But the best that we can feel isn't when we've cleared everything up. The best we can feel never comes when we're ultimately focused on ourselves. So you really have to know where you are in this process. If you still have a lot of work to do, if you have a lot of frustrations or difficulties or challenges that you're carrying around with you, if you're not feeling balanced and positive on a very regular basis, if you even feel yourself recoil at the idea of showing up for other people because it just makes you automatically start to feel like a martyr, then I want you to know that that recoiling energy, that recoiling feeling is so good. That's your body telling you you're not ready yet. You got to work your stuff out. But even if you're busy cleaning up all your own stuff so that you can get out there and start to give and become a giver and become a bigger person, even as you're focused on your things, you have to do it knowing the end goal. And the end goal is to be a giver. The end goal is to show up as your best possible self in your marriage and in all your relationships. The end goal is to be a growing, bigger person than you ever knew you could be, right? The end goal is ultimately spiritual growth. And what I see sometimes is that we get all those things cleared up and we're like, okay, I guess what else is going to make me happy, right? Because now dropping all that baggage made me really happy, but now there's nothing else really to drop, or I'm so efficient at cleaning it up when it comes up. What's going to make me happy? I guess now I just want a lot of money, or I guess now I just want a bigger house, or I guess now I just want, like, we start looking to up level. And I have no problem. I think you should all have as much money as you want, and you should have as big a house as you want. And I have no issue with that. But I want you to know that that's not what's going to make you happy. It's not the natural extension of the work you've been doing up until now. The natural extension of the work you've been doing until now is to say all this goodness that I've just created for myself is now an investment in me, that now I get to be the person that I dream of being. I don't even know to dream of being. Trying to be a giver in a marriage when you're usually feeling resentful doesn't work, because what it does is it actually compounds the resentment. This is again why, you might have tried this and you might have that kind of recoil energy when you think like, oh, I should just be the bigger person. It's because when you're operating inside of a story in which you are the martyr, or you are the victim, or you are the one who isn't getting her needs met and he's taking advantage, or he's inconsiderate, or whatever your story is, then trying to be a giver will usually just make you feel even more resentful, because you're pushing it down. You're not giving it the space to articulate to you what you need to hear. If this is where you are, you need to come and get coached so we can clean it up, right? Or you can even watch other people get coached and that will clean it up too. That's the cool part. You don't even have to be the one getting coached. And you can watch my class on resentment while you're in there. You should definitely watch my class on resentment while you're in there. Because the thing is, you don't need to be feeling resentful. And I don't know your particular situation, but I have coached on this emotion enough times to know that resentment never gets your needs met. It is always sticky glue on the bottom of your feet in your relationship. It is always going to keep you exactly where you are and shut off your ability to find better solutions, better ways of communicating, anything like that. So it's really valuable information to know that you're feeling resentful, because it's telling you there's something here that wants to be heard, that wants to be dealt with. But when you do start to do this work and you start to see those resentments dissipate, and for some women, your first time with that experience will come from a coaching call. And for some women, it might be like a paradigm shift. Like you learn something about the way he communicates differently. Let's say, even if we just go back to the example, I love this example because everyone understands it and knows it, of introversion and extroversion. Like you find out that, oh my gosh, he's introverted. This isn't about me. This isn't about me. He doesn't want to show up for me. This is about, he just needs some space to himself, and I'm extroverted and I need more contact, and we can accommodate for that. The resentment that you might have been carrying around before that of like, why doesn't he show up for me? He knows how important, quality time is. That's my love language, all that kind of thing, right? When that gets cleared up, it's like this magical experience. Or maybe it's from coaching. Maybe I see that when I start thinking he's not prioritizing me in the relationship, what I do is I just stop prioritizing him. And that's not what I want to be doing. So now I'm able to find a new way of approaching the same challenge that is so much more empowering. So either way you go at it, right? I think these are the two main ways that we get to this new place in our relationships, either from a paradigm shift or from a coaching shift. However you get there, I want to encourage you. Don't stop there. Like you just did the groundwork, right? Like that was just and I'm totally sending this out to my entire community, because I want to make sure that even those of you who are getting coached every week and showing up, not all of you listen to the podcast, and that's totally fine, but I want to make sure y'all hear this. That is the groundwork. Don't like shoot for something so achievable. It's so achievable to be feeling pretty happy and content and like not so frustrated with the world. We can get there. Once you're there, now we get to do the really fun work, right? Now we get to start imagining like, what's my contribution? What's my mitzvah? What's my nida? What's the place where I want to grow? Like, what feels magical to me? What am I drawn to? What am I called to do in this world, or in my family, or in my marriage, or even between me and myself, or my relationship to Hashem? This is the really good work that we get to do. So this is just my pitch for not stopping yourself at getting out of negative. After all, that's what the whole coaching industry started from, right? The therapy model came off of the medical model. We have a disease and we need to fix it. And of course, there's therapists who do more proactive work than that. But that was the original model. The coaching model came from business. It came from, let's achieve more things, more money, more whatever inside of our business, and let's get there. So the coaching model has always been to start at zero and go up, not to get to zero. And I just want to make a really, really, really strong pitch for all of you that you need to take the time to feel ready for that. You need to get your feet under you. You need to get that grounding. And if you're not in this place right now, then you totally deserve to love yourself enough to take the time to get there. And you can just plant that seed in the back of your head that I'm not ready to do that work yet, but I do know the reason I want to get there. Partly it's out of love for myself, which I deserve. And partly it's because I have something really amazing to contribute in this world, either in my teeny tiny little world or in the greater world. And this is the groundwork I need to do to get there. And for those of you who've been doing this work longer, who are ready to take it to the next level, I want to plant that seed for you. Where is that next place? What is it that's and this is going to be so unique to each person, but where could coaching take you next? Now that you've cleaned it all up, now that you've gotten yourself to baseline, to neutral, what is exceptional for you? And really challenge yourself to think big about what that might look like. Okay, my friends, I really want to hear from you all. So please email me back. I want to hear what you want to work on, or just how this is landing with you, where you think you might be in this process. If you are on Instagram, you can also reach me at Kayla Levin Coaching. I love just having that dialogue with you and hearing back, because, at the end of the day, it's just me and my Zoom screen recording these podcasts. So I do love to hear from you, and whatever, your emails are just always amazing. So, take it and run, my friends. You are all amazing. You all inspire me every single day. And I can't wait to see what it is that you end up contributing in this world. See you next week.